The night I stopped taking those pills, everything changed. For weeks, my stepmother had been helping me sleep, sitting beside my bed, smiling, making sure I swallowed every dose. I trusted her. I thought she was healing me, but that night, I hid the pills under my tongue. And for the first time, I stayed awake. That's when I heard voices. Her voice and his. Low, whispering, laughing. So I walked to her door. Just a crack open, and what I saw inside made my stomach drop. But what I heard next made me realize I wasn't sick. I was being prepared. And when I understood why, I didn't scream. I ran. The rain didn't fall that day, it pressed down. It came in long, relentless sheets, turning the sky into something heavy and low, like it was mourning with us. Black umbrellas bloomed across the cemetery like dark flowers, their edges trembling under the weight of water. Everything smelled damp, wet soil, soaked fabric, that metallic scent rain leaves behind when it clings to iron gates and cold stone. I remember standing there, my fingers numb, even though I couldn't tell if it was from the cold or the grief. Probably both. My black dress clung to my legs, and strands of my hair had escaped and stuck to my cheeks. I didn't bother brushing them away. They were lowering the coffin. I couldn't look at it for long. Mark stood beside me, silent, rigid. His hand held mine, but it didn't feel like his hand. It felt like something distant, something already slipping away. His grip was firm, but there was no warmth in it, just tension. Like he was holding himself together more than he was holding me. And then there was Evelyn. She stood on my other side, one arm gently wrapped around my shoulders, pulling me slightly into her. She didn't say anything at first. She didn't need to. Her presence was steady, calm, like a quiet voice telling me I wouldn't fall apart, even when everything inside me already had. I swallowed hard, staring at the muddy ground. I had lost my father years ago. That kind of loss doesn't leave you. It just settles somewhere deep inside. Like a crack in glass you learn to ignore until the light hits it the wrong way. And now this. My father-in-law wasn't just Mark's dad. He had been the closest thing I had to family again. He remembered how I liked my tea. He'd knock on our door just to ask if I needed anything from the store. He'd call me kiddo in that soft, absent-minded way that made me feel safe. Like I belonged somewhere again. And now the ground was swallowing him. A sharp ache rose in my chest, sudden and suffocating. I tried to breathe through it, but it felt like the air was too thick. I lost a husband, Evelyn said softly beside me. Her voice barely carried over the rain, but I heard it. And you lost a father. I turned my head slightly toward her. Her face was pale but composed, her expression calm in a way. That didn't feel cold. It felt controlled, gentle. Her fingers squeezed my shoulder, just enough to ground me. Let's not break separately, she added quietly. Let's heal together. Something in me gave in at that moment. Not completely, but enough. I nodded, even though my throat was too tight to speak. And for the first time that day, I leaned into someone. The house felt too big when we came back. It had always been large, but now it felt hollow, like the walls had stretched farther apart overnight. Every sound echoed more than it should. The creak of the floorboards, the distant hum of the refrigerator, the slow, rhythmic ticking of the grandfather clock in the hallway. Tick, tick, tick. Each second felt louder than the last. Mark didn't stay long. He couldn't. His project, some massive contract, overseas, had already been delayed because of the funeral. I could see it in the way he paced the living room, running his hand through his hair, glancing at his phone like time was chasing him. I'll be back soon, he said, standing in the doorway with his suitcase. In just a few weeks, maybe less. A few weeks. It sounded small when he said it like that, but standing there, with the house stretching endlessly behind me, it felt like forever. I stepped closer to him, wrapping my arms around his waist. He hugged me back, tighter this time, like he meant it. But even then, I could feel the distance already forming, the mental checklist, running through his mind, the urgency pulling him away. I don't want to leave you like this, he murmured into my hair. I know, I whispered. And I did know. That didn't make it hurt less. He pulled away too soon. There was a brief pause, just a second, where I thought maybe he'd stay. Maybe he'd drop the suitcase, sit down, choose me over everything else. But he didn't. He kissed my forehead, gave Evelyn a quiet nod, and then he was gone. The door closed with a soft click, and the silence that followed felt louder than anything. Evelyn didn't let that silence settle for long. Come, she said gently, placing a hand on my arm. You shouldn't sit alone tonight. She led me to the living room, where the fireplace was already lit. I hadn't even noticed. When she'd done that, the flames flickered softly, casting warm, golden light across the room, chasing away the grayness that had followed us inside. She handed me a cup of tea. It was warm, almost too warm, and smelled faintly sweet, like chamomile with something else I couldn't quite place. I wrapped my hands around it, letting the heat seep into my skin. We sat side by side in silence for a while, not uncomfortable silence, the kind that feels shared. I used to brush Mark's hair when he couldn't sleep, Evelyn said suddenly, her voice soft. When he was younger. I glanced at her, unsure where she was going with it. She smiled gently. It helped him, calmed him down. Before I could respond, she shifted slightly behind me, her fingers lightly touching my shoulder. "May I?" she asked. I hesitated for a fraction of a second. Then I nodded. Her fingers moved slowly through my hair, careful, almost deliberate. There was something soothing about it. The steady rhythm, the light pressure against my scalp. My eyes fluttered closed before I even realized it. It felt maternal, safe, a feeling I hadn't known I missed this much until it was suddenly there. "You don't have to carry everything alone, Clara," she murmured. And I believed her. God, I wanted to believe her. The nights were the hardest. Sleep didn't come easily. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the coffin lowering again, heard the dull thud of rain hitting fabric, felt that hollow space opening inside my chest. Restless. That's what I was. Restless and tired and unable to escape either. Evelyn noticed. Of course she did. On the third night, she came into my room just as I was sitting up in bed, staring at nothing. "I thought so," she said softly, stepping inside. She carried a glass of water and 2 small pills in her hand. "Recovery vitamins," she explained, offering them to me. "They help the body cope with stress, and they'll help you sleep." I hesitated, looking down at them. They looked ordinary, small, white, harmless. "They're safe," she added gently, as if reading my thoughts. "I wouldn't give you anything I wouldn't take myself." There was no reason to doubt her. Not after everything, so I took them. She watched me, smiling softly, as I placed them on my tongue and swallowed. "Good girl," she said quietly. Something about that phrase lingered in the air a second longer than it should have. But I was too tired to think about it. Julian arrived a few days later. Evelyn introduced him as a family lawyer, someone helping with the inheritance and paperwork after the funeral. He looked like he belonged somewhere else. Too polished, too sharp. His eyes were the first thing I noticed. They didn't just look at you, they studied you. Like he was constantly measuring something, calculating something beneath the surface. "Clara," he said, offering his hand. I shook it, forcing a polite smile. There was nothing outwardly wrong about him. He was handsome, well-dressed, articulate, and yet, something about him made my skin prickle. But Evelyn trusted him. That was enough for me, so I ignored that feeling. I let it go, and I welcomed him into the house like he belonged there. Because at that point, I thought I was finally safe. Grief is supposed to get lighter. That's what people say, isn't it? They tell you it softens with time, that your body learns how to carry it without collapsing under the weight. But for me, it didn't soften, it thickened. It wrapped around my thoughts like fog, dense and disorienting, until even the simplest things felt distant. Slower, wrong. Every morning, waking up felt like dragging myself out of deep water. My limbs were heavy, unnaturally heavy. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but something deeper, something that clung to my bones. I'd lie there for minutes, sometimes longer, just staring at the ceiling, trying to convince my arms to move. Just lift your hand. Just sit up. Simple commands. But my body didn't listen right away. It was like I was 22 years old, trapped inside something much older, something worn out. And my mind scared me the most. I'd forget things, small things at first, where I left my phone, whether I'd brushed my hair, what day it was. But then it got worse. I'd walk into a room and forget why I was there. I'd start a sentence and lose it halfway through, the words dissolving before they could form. It felt like parts of me were slipping, fading. I remember standing in front of the mirror one morning, staring at my reflection. My face looked the same, but my eyes didn't. They looked dull, clouded, like someone had dimmed the light behind them. "You're just grieving," I whispered to myself. That had to be it. It had to be. The pills tasted bitter. I hadn't noticed it much at first, maybe because I was too exhausted to care. But over time, that bitterness lingered longer on my tongue, like something my body didn't quite accept. Every night, the same ritual. Evelyn would come in, soft knock, gentle smile, the glass of water, the 2 small white pills resting in her palm. "Time to rest, sweetheart," she'd say. And she always watched me. That part started to feel different. At first it was comforting, attentive, like she was making sure I was okay. But now it felt like something else. Like she was waiting, observing, making sure. I'd force a smile, place the pills on my tongue, and swallow under her gaze. The water always felt too cold, sliding down my throat like something heavier than it should be. "Good girl," she'd whisper sometimes. That phrase again. Soft, careful, wrong. It started with something small. A black lace top. I remember folding it and placing it in my drawer. I was sure of it, completely sure. I even remembered hesitating for a second, thinking about how I hadn't worn it in a while. But the next day, it was gone. I searched the drawer again, then the others, then the closet, the laundry basket, the floor. Nothing. At first I told myself I was mistaken, but then it happened again, and again. Another piece of clothing, then another. Not random things, specific things, personal things. A quiet unease began to settle in my chest. So I asked Evelyn. We were in the kitchen, the late afternoon light stretching long shadows across the floor. The grandfather clock ticked faintly in the background, each second louder than it should have been. "Have you seen any of my clothes?" I asked carefully. She looked up from her tea, blinking softly. "What do you mean?" "Just a few things are missing. I thought maybe they got mixed up with laundry or something." There was a pause. Then she smiled. Not wide, not fake, just calm. "Oh, Clara," she said lightly, letting out a soft, almost amused breath. "Your grief is making you forgetful." The words landed heavier than they should have. "I'm not," I started, but my voice faltered. She tilted her head slightly, her expression gentle. "You've been under so much stress," she continued. "It's completely normal. You probably just misplaced them." Misplaced. The word echoed in my head, because for a second, I believed her. For a second, I doubted myself. Maybe I had moved them. Maybe I had forgotten. Maybe this fog in my mind was worse than I thought. "I'll help you look later," she added softly, reaching out to squeeze my hand. Her touch was warm, reassuring, and somehow, it made the doubt settle deeper. Julian started appearing more often. At first, it was during the day, papers, discussions, quiet conversations with Evelyn behind closed doors. But then, his visits stretched longer. Later, darker. There was something about the way he looked at me now. Not openly, not in a way I could easily point out, but I felt it. A lingering glance, a second too long, like he was studying me the way you study something fragile, or something that's about to break. One evening I walked into the hallway and froze. They were standing there, Evelyn and Julian, too close, not touching, but close enough that the space between them felt intentional, charged. They both turned when they noticed me, too quickly, like I had interrupted something. "Oh," Evelyn said smoothly, stepping back just slightly. "Clara, you're awake." The way she said it made my stomach twist. Julian smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You should be resting," he added, his voice calm, measured. I nodded slowly, even though something inside me screamed that this wasn't right, that none of this was right. But the fog kept dulling that instinct, kept pushing it down. That night, everything changed. I was sitting on my bed, the pills resting in my palm. My stomach churned. A wave of nausea rolled through me, sharp and sudden. For a moment, I thought I might actually throw up. "I can't," I whispered under my breath. But Evelyn was standing there, watching, waiting, so I did what I always did. I lifted them to my lips, placed them on my tongue, and then, I didn't swallow. I kept them there, tucked carefully under my tongue, forcing my face to stay neutral as I took a sip of water. Swallowed the water, not the pills. Evelyn's eyes stayed on me for a second longer than usual. Then she smiled. "Good girl," she murmured again, and left. The door clicked shut. I waited. 1 minute, 2. Then I rushed to the bathroom, spitting the pills into the sink with shaking hands. My heart was racing. Loud, too loud. I washed them away quickly, staring at my reflection. Something felt different already. Clearer. The fog wasn't gone, but it wasn't as thick. That night I didn't fall asleep. For the first time in days, I stayed awake. The house sounded different at night. Alive. Not in a comforting way. In a way that made every shadow feel like it was watching. The grandfather clock ticked louder. The floor creaked in places I hadn't noticed before. And somewhere, voices, faint, muffled, coming from down the hall, from Evelyn's room. My chest tightened. Slowly, carefully, I slipped out of bed. The floor was cold against my bare feet, sending a sharp chill up my spine with every step. The hallway stretched endlessly in the dark. Each step felt louder than it should have been. Closer, closer. The voices became clearer. Laughter, soft, low. Not grief, not mourning, something else. I stopped just outside her door. It was slightly ajar, just enough. My breath caught as I leaned closer. A shadow moved inside. And then, the door opened. I froze. Julian stepped out. His shirt slightly wrinkled. His hair, messy. He adjusted his sleeve casually like this was normal. Like this was expected. My stomach dropped, a cold, sick realization creeping in. He turned slightly, and for a second I thought he saw me. But he didn't. He walked past, down the hallway, gone. I stayed there, unmoving, trying to process what I had just seen. And then, Evelyn's voice, soft, calm, from inside the room. "Be patient, Julian." A pause. Then, "She's almost broken enough for you." The words didn't just scare me, they hollowed me out, because in that moment, I understood something. I wasn't safe. I had never been safe. I didn't take the pills again. Not that night, not the next. I learned how to pretend, how to let them rest under my tongue, how to swallow water just enough to make it believable, how to keep my face soft and empty so Evelyn wouldn't question me. But inside everything had changed. The fog wasn't gone completely. My body still felt slower than it should, like I was dragging myself through something thick and invisible. But my mind was waking up. And what it saw, it didn't feel real. It felt worse than grief. It felt like betrayal had a shape, a smell, a sound, and it lived inside that house with me. That night, the air felt heavier than usual. The house was silent, but not in the comforting way it used to be. Now, the silence felt like something waiting, watching. The grandfather. Clock ticked down the hallway, each second stretching longer, louder. Tick, tick, tick. I lay still in my bed, staring at the ceiling, counting the seconds until I heard it. A door. Soft, careful, opening. My breath caught in my throat. I waited. Another sound, footsteps, slow, measured, not random, intentional. I sat up slowly, my muscles protesting, that familiar heaviness still clinging to me like chains. But I forced myself up, sliding my feet onto the cold floor. The chill shot through me, grounding me. Stay quiet, stay small. I stepped into the hallway. Darkness stretched in every direction, broken only by faint light spilling from beneath Evelyn's bedroom door. It was slightly open. Again, my heart started pounding, loud enough that I was sure they would hear it. But I moved anyway, one step, then another, careful not to let the floorboards betray me. As I got closer, I could hear them. Not just whispers, something softer, intimate, a low laugh, a breath. My stomach twisted. I reached the door and leaned slightly, just enough to see through the narrow gap. And what I saw, it didn't just confirm my fear, it shattered something inside me. Evelyn wasn't sitting calmly with him. She wasn't acting like a grieving widow. She was close, too close. Her hand rested on Julian's chest, her fingers tracing slowly as if they had done this 1,000 times before. His hand was on her waist, pulling her toward him, like he belonged there, like this was normal, like I was the outsider. Their faces were inches apart. Familiar, comfortable, intimate. My throat went dry. This wasn't new. This wasn't sudden. This was something that had been happening. While I was in the next room, drugged into sleep, a quiet, suffocating realization settled over me. I had been blind. No, not blind. Made blind. I'm tired of waiting, Evelyn. Julian's voice cut through the air, sharper than before. There was no softness in it now, no charm. Just impatience, anger. My body went rigid. "I've been patient," he continued, stepping away from her slightly. "Long enough. You promised me Clara weeks ago. Promised me... Clara. My name." The words didn't make sense at first. They just floated there, disconnected, like my brain refused to put them together. "That was our deal," he added, his tone tightening. "Deal." Something inside me cracked. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just a quiet, irreversible fracture. Evelyn didn't react the way I expected. She didn't look shocked. She didn't deny it. She smiled. Softly, calmly, the same way she smiled at me when she handed me the pills. "Lower your voice," she murmured gently. "You'll ruin everything if you rush." "Ruin everything?" Julian let out a frustrated breath, running a hand through his hair. "I don't care anymore," he snapped. "I want her tonight." Tonight? My chest tightened so suddenly I thought I might make a sound. I pressed my hand over my mouth, forcing myself to stay silent. Invisible, please, don't let them hear me. There was a pause. A long one, and then Evelyn spoke again. Her voice, softer than ever, gentler, deadly. Just tonight, she said slowly, stepping closer to him again. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. She won't even be conscious. The words hit me like ice water, cold, sharp, paralyzing. She is your reward. Reward. The world tilted. For a second, I thought I might collapse right there in the hallway. Reward. The word echoed inside me louder than anything else. Not Clara, not daughter, not someone she said she wanted to heal with. A reward, something given, something earned, something used. My stomach churned violently. Every memory twisted into something unrecognizable. The tea, the hair brushing, the soft voice. Good girl. It wasn't care. It was preparation. I wasn't healing. I was being broken, slowly, deliberately. For him. I stumbled back without realizing it. My heel pressed against the floor. Creak. The sound was small, but in that silence, it was deafening. Everything inside the room stopped. My blood turned to ice. Did you hear that? Julian's voice cut through the air. My breath caught. No. Footsteps, moving, toward the door. I turned and ran. Not fast. I couldn't. My body wasn't fully mine yet. Every step felt heavy, uneven, like I was running through water. My legs threatened to give out beneath me, but fear forced them forward. Behind me, the door swung open. Clara? Evelyn's voice, sweet, calling, like nothing had changed, but underneath it, something else, something sharp, something aware. Clara. Julian's voice followed. Closer, too close. My heart slammed against my ribs as I rushed down the hallway, my bare feet slapping softly against the cold floor. The house felt different now. Longer, darker, every shadow stretched, twisted, watching me. I reached the stairs, gripping the railing to steady myself as dizziness hit me hard. Move. I forced myself down, nearly slipping as my foot missed a step. Behind me, footsteps, faster than mine, stronger, hunting. Don't run, Evelyn called out, her voice still calm. You'll hurt yourself. Hurt myself? A hysterical thought flickered through my mind. You've been hurting me for weeks. I reached the bottom of the stairs, my vision blurring for a second. The front door was just ahead. So close. I stumbled toward it, my fingers fumbling with the handle. Locked. Of course it was locked. My hands shook as I tried to twist it open. Behind me, a shadow moved across the wall. Closer. Clara, Julian said quietly. Right behind me. I froze. For a split second. And that was enough. His hand reached out. I reacted without thinking. I turned and shoved him with everything I had. It wasn't strong, but it was enough to throw him off balance. He stumbled back a step, and I ran, not for the door, for the window, the one near the side of the house. I didn't think, I didn't plan. I just moved. My hands grabbed the latch, yanking it open with shaking force. The cold night air rushed in, sharp against my skin. Behind me, stop her, Evelyn's voice. No softness now, no warmth, just command. Julian lunged forward. His fingers brushed my arm. I pulled away and threw myself through the window. Glass shattered. Pain exploded across my skin as I hit the ground outside. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. I pushed myself up, ignoring the burning cuts, the dizziness, the weight still dragging at my limbs. And I ran, barefoot, bleeding, terrified, into the dark. The house behind me wasn't a home anymore. It was something else, something I had barely escaped. And as I ran into the night, one thought screamed louder than anything else. If I had taken those pills, I wouldn't have woken up. The cold hit me before the pain did. It wrapped around my body like a second skin, sharp, biting, merciless. My lungs burned as I ran, each breath cutting deeper than the last. I didn't know how far I'd gone. The house had disappeared behind trees and shadows, but it still felt close. Too close, like it could reach out and pull me back. I stumbled over gravel, nearly collapsing, catching myself against a low fence. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely feel them. Blood, mine, streaked across my fingers, sticky and warm against the freezing air. Don't stop. Don't stop. I forced myself forward again, my bare feet screaming in protest with every step. And then, a light, dim, yellow, flickering through a window, a house, my vision blurred with sudden tears as I rushed toward it, my legs threatening to give out beneath me. I reached the door and pounded against it with everything I had left. Please, my voice cracked, raw and broken. Please help me. For a second, nothing happened. And in that second, terror swallowed me whole. What if they heard me? What if they were already coming? What if... The door opened. An older woman stood there, her face shifting instantly from confusion to alarm as she took me in, barefoot, shaking, bleeding, barely standing. Oh my God. They're going to kill me, I gasped, the words tumbling out before I could stop them. Please, please don't let them take me back. She didn't hesitate. She pulled me inside. The warmth felt unreal, too soft, too safe, like my body didn't trust it anymore. I sat on her couch, wrapped in a blanket, my hands still trembling as she pressed a phone into them. Call someone, she said gently. Anyone you trust. Anyone. My mind jumped to one name, Mark. My fingers fumbled as I dialed, my heart racing so hard it felt like it would break through my chest. The line rang once, twice, 3 times. Then, Clara? His voice, alive, real. Everything inside me shattered. Mark, my voice broke completely. You have to come back. Right now, please. What happened? Clara, what's wrong? I choked on the words, the memory hitting me all over again. Evelyn, she's been drugging me. She was going to... I couldn't even say it. You have to call the police, please. There was silence. Then, I'm coming, he said. His voice no longer confused, just cold, focused. Stay where you are. Don't go back there. I'm calling them now. The line went dead, and for the first time since I ran, I allowed myself to breathe. The police arrived faster than I expected. Flashing red and blue lights cut through the night, painting the quiet street in sharp, pulsing color. My stomach twisted as I watched them, my body still shaking despite the warmth around me. They'll believe you, the woman beside me whispered. You're safe now. Safe. The word felt fragile, like it could break if I held it too tightly. They asked questions, so many questions. My voice trembled as I answered, recounting everything, the pills, the missing clothes, Julian, the words I heard through that door. She said I was his reward. I whispered, my throat tightening again. The officer's expression hardened. Do you have anything to prove they were drugging you? He asked carefully. For a second, panic flared. And then I remembered. Yes, I said quickly, my voice gaining strength. I didn't take the pills the last 2 nights. I hid them. They were still in my pocket, crushed slightly, but intact. I handed them over with shaking hands. And my phone, I added, my breath catching. I recorded something. Not everything, but enough. Enough of their voices. Enough of the truth. The officer nodded, taking it all carefully. That's good, he said. That's very good. Going back to the house felt like stepping into a nightmare I had just escaped. Only this time, I wasn't alone. Police cars lined the driveway. Officers moved with purpose, their presence cutting through the darkness that had once swallowed me whole. The front door was open. Evelyn stood inside, calm, composed, like nothing had happened, like she hadn't tried to destroy me. Oh, Clara, she said softly as I stepped in, her expression filled with something that looked disturbingly close to concern. You gave us such a fright. Us. Julian stood behind her, silent, watching, the same sharp eyes. But now, there was something else in them. Calculation. The officers didn't waste time. They moved forward, questioning, searching. Evelyn's calm began to crack slowly. What is this? She demanded, her voice tightening. This is a misunderstanding. Is it? One of the officers replied, holding up the pills. Because these don't look like vitamins. Something flickered across her face, just for a second, but I saw it. Fear. Real fear. Julian's expression shifted too, his jaw tightening as the officers moved toward him. This is ridiculous, he snapped. You have no proof of anything. I swallowed hard, stepping forward despite the tremor in my legs. I do. All eyes turned to me. My heart pounded, but I didn't stop. I heard you, I said, my voice shaking but steady enough. I heard everything. Evelyn's gaze locked onto mine, and for the first time, there was no softness left in it. Only something cold, ugly, exposed. Mark arrived just as they were being taken away. He looked broken, not in the quiet way I had been, in a way that was raw, visible, tearing through him. His eyes found mine instantly, and then he pulled me into him. Tight, desperate. I'm so sorry, he whispered against my hair. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I know, I said softly, holding on to him just as tightly. Behind us, Evelyn's voice rose. You ungrateful girl, she snapped, her composure finally shattering. After everything I did for you, Everything you did? Mark turned, his voice cutting through hers like a blade. You tried to sell my wife. The word echoed. Sell. That was what it had been. A transaction. A deal. Evelyn's face twisted. Her mask completely gone now. And in that moment, I realized I had never really known her. The legal process was long, ugly, exhausting, but it was worth it. In the courtroom, Evelyn wasn't the calm, graceful woman she had pretended to be. She was sharp, defensive, desperate. Every layer of her carefully built image peeled away, until all that remained was something bitter and cruel. Julian didn't even try to hide it. The charges were heavy: drugging, conspiracy, attempted assault. And when the verdict came, it felt like the first real breath I had taken in months. We left that house, never went back. Mark sold it. Every memory tied to it burned away with the decision. Months passed. Slowly, I began to feel like myself again. Not the same, not completely, but stronger. Healing didn't come from pills. It came from distance, from truth, from finally being safe. Sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night, my heart racing, my body remembering what my mind tries to forget. Some scars don't disappear. They just fade enough to live with. I'm 22, and I survived something that should have broken me, but it didn't. Because in the end, I chose to run. I chose to fight. I chose to live. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Not everyone who offers you comfort is there to heal you. Some are just waiting for the moment you trust them enough to destroy you.